Master any conversation with these 5 questions. Clapperboard intro. Every day, we talk, argue, explain, and debate. But how often do we truly connect? Most conversations turn into competitions where everyone wants to win, but no one wants to understand. Imagine if you had 5 questions, just 5, that could calm any argument, guide any discussion, and make people actually listen. These questions aren't tricks, they're tools of influence, empathy, and understanding. In this video, you'll discover how one woman learned to master every conversation without raising her voice. By the end, you'll know the 5 questions that can change the way you speak and the way people respond forever. 1. The struggle to be heard. Everyone wants to be understood, yet most conversations turn into battles of words. We try to convince, argue, or prove a point, but rarely connect. Meet Sarah, a young professional who always found herself misunderstood at work and home. The louder she spoke, the less people listened. Frustrated, she began to wonder, why can't people just understand me? One day, a mentor told her, you don't master conversations by talking more. You master them by asking the right questions. That moment changed everything. Sarah's journey to mastering communication had just begun. Underscore, 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 underscore. 2. The meeting with the mentor. Her mentor, a retired psychologist named Mr. Rayhan, invited her for tea. He smiled and said, Sarah, the secret to influence isn't speaking, it's guiding. You guide through questions. He opened a small notebook and wrote down 5 short questions. Ask these with sincerity, he said, and you'll never lose another conversation. Sarah leaned forward, curious. But how can questions be that powerful? She asked. Rayhan replied, because people don't resist their own thoughts, they resist yours. When they answer these, they convince themselves. She didn't know it yet, but these 5 questions would change her life. Underscore. Underscore. 3. The first question, what makes you feel that way? The first question, Rayhan explained, opens hearts. When someone is emotional or defensive, don't argue. Ask, what makes you feel that way? It tells them you care, not that you're challenging them. Sarah tried this the next day with a colleague who disagreed on a project. Instead of arguing, she asked calmly, what makes you feel that way? The colleague paused, then explained their fear of failure. That simple question turned conflict into understanding. Sarah realized that listening without judgment gives you more power than speaking without pause. Underscore. Underscore. 4. The second question, can you help me understand your point better? The second question disarms ego. Rayhan said, when you say help me understand, you shift from opponent to partner. Sarah tried it during a tense team meeting. When someone criticized her idea, she didn't defend it. Instead, she smiled and asked, can you help me understand your point better? The room softened. People leaned in. Suddenly, it wasn't her versus them, it was us. That question turned competition into cooperation. Sarah began to see that true conversational mastery isn't about winning. It's about creating space where everyone feels safe to speak. Underscore. 5. The third question, what do you think would be a fair solution? This question transforms conflict into collaboration. Rehan explained, people argue because they want to feel respected. Give them ownership. Sarah used this during a disagreement with her manager about workload. Instead of complaining, she asked, what do you think would be a fair solution? Her manager thought, paused, and adjusted the schedule. No tension, no drama. Sarah learned that this question flips the script. It makes people part of the answer. She discovered that influence isn't forcing your idea. It's guiding others to see it as their own. Underscore. 6. The fourth question. What would happen if we tried it this way? The fourth question opens the mind to possibilities. It gently introduces change without confrontation. Rehan called it the bridge question. Instead of saying, you're wrong, you invite reflection. Sarah used it when her team resisted a new strategy. She asked, what would happen if we tried it this way just once? Instead of arguing, they became curious. That curiosity led to action, and the result exceeded everyone's expectations. Sarah learned that the best leaders don't demand, they inspire exploration. A single what if can move mountains. Seven. The fifth question. How can we move forward from here? Rehan smiled as he revealed the final question. How can we move forward from here? It's the question of closure, progress, and peace. When emotions run high, this question gently guides the conversation toward resolution. Sarah used it after a family argument, and instead of dragging the blame, she redirected everyone's energy toward healing. The power of this question lies in its simplicity. It reminds people that the future matters more than the fight. With it, Sarah learned how to end discussions with grace, not resentment. Underscore. 8. Putting the questions to the test. Armed with these 5 questions, Sarah began to transform her world. Meetings became smoother, friendships deeper, and conflicts shorter. She wasn't just speaking differently. She was thinking differently. She realized these questions worked because they weren't manipulation. They were empathy in action. They turned conversations into journeys, not wars. Wherever she went, she carried Rehan's notebook, always ready to replace reaction with reflection. Her communication skills didn't just improve, they became her superpower. Soon, people began asking her secret, and she smiled, remembering the tea-stained notebook. Underscore. 9. The transformation. Months later, Sarah stood before a group of young professionals, teaching them what she once struggled to learn. She wrote on the whiteboard, 1. What makes you feel that way? 2. Can you help me understand your point better? 3. What do you think would be a fair solution? 4. What would happen if we tried it this way? 5. How can we move forward from here? The room fell silent, everyone listening closely. Sarah had become what her mentor once was, a guide. The circle of wisdom had completed itself. Underscore. 10. The message for you. So, here's your challenge. The next time you find yourself in an argument or a tense discussion, pause. Don't rush to reply. Ask one of these questions. Watch how the tone changes, how walls fall, and understanding grows. Mastering conversation isn't about being the loudest voice. It's about being the calmest mind. Remember, these 5 questions are not tricks. They're tools of empathy. Use them wisely, and you'll not only win conversations, you'll win respect, connection, and peace. That's the real art of mastering any conversation. Conclusion. Conversations aren't battles to be won. They're bridges to be built. These 5 questions aren't just phrases. They're the language of understanding. The next time someone disagrees with you, remember, ask, don't attack. Listen, don't lecture. Every question you ask with sincerity opens a door to trust. So, if you truly want to master communication, don't aim to win arguments. Aim to win respect. Because the most powerful people aren't those who speak the loudest, but those who make others feel heard. Ask wisely, listen deeply, and you'll master not just conversations, but connections.